Welcome. It's really, really lovely to see you all here. For those of you whom I've not met, my name is Angelo Pitillo, and I'm the director of the English Language Institute. And it is my great, great pleasure to welcome you all to this 75th anniversary celebration of the founding of ELI as the very first university-based intensive English program in North America. We've assembled a really wonderful series of panels for you and some poster presentations at lunchtime that will bring together scholars and teachers from ELI and from around the world to discuss current trends and future directions in the fields in which the ELI has really played an important foundational role: applied linguistics, English for specific and academic purposes, graduate communication, second language pedagogy, and textbook writing and publishing. You know, from the beginning, ELI's identity has been very closely connected to the fact that our home is here at the University of Michigan, which is one of the world's preeminent public research universities, and in particular in the university's College of Literature, Science, and the Arts. LSA is Michigan's largest undergraduate college, and it's renowned both for its world-class scholarship and for the its emphasis on highest quality of teaching and mentoring undergraduate and graduate students alike. The college's support for ELI from its earliest days demonstrated a commitment to education as a global enterprise, which was far ahead of its time. So we are therefore honored today to have the dean of our college with us to begin this celebration. Andrew D. Martin is the Dean of the College of Literature, Science, and the Arts and a professor of political science and statistics. Andrew's expertise is in the study of judicial decision-making, particularly with regard to the U.S. Supreme Court. He is co-creator of the widely used Martin Quinn scores, which measure the ideology of Supreme Court justices. And he's also co-author of the recently published An Introduction to Empirical Legal Research. As Dean of LSA, Andrew has emphasized the importance of scholarships, experiential learning opportunities like internships and study abroad, and increased access and inclusion for all students. He has also focused attention on ensuring that LSA students graduate with the skills necessary for success in life after college. And he's made efforts to connect with students on a personal level through the use of social media and informal gatherings on campus. In addition to serving as dean, Andrew teaches courses in judicial decision-making and political methodology, both at the undergraduate and graduate levels. Last fall, he taught the course The Politics of Judging. He earned his BA in Mathematics and Government from the College of William and Mary and his PhD in Political Science from Washington University in St. Louis. Please join me in welcoming Dean Andrew D. Martin.
Thank you very much, Angelo. It is so great to be here to welcome you all for our celebration today of 75 years of innovation and engagement at LSA's English Language Institute. Since its founding in 1941 by a group of visionary LSA faculty led by Professor of English Charles F. Freese, ELI's groundbreaking language instruction and its academic and intercultural support have enabled thousands of students from around the world to achieve their scholarly, instructional, and professional goals. From the beginning, ELI provided meaningful opportunities for engagement between the local community and its students. Think about that. That's experiential learning for the last 75 years. These connections have broadened our scholars' horizons and provided them with insights into U.S. culture, enriching their time in Ann Arbor and making the difference between a degree and a fully rounded education. In addition, ELI students have contributed to a more globalized campus community where cultural and linguistic diversity are valued and celebrated. When we commemorate ELI's founding, we also mark an important milestone in the development of the fields of applied linguistics, English as a second language pedagogy, and assessment. ELI was the very first institute of its kind, a university-based program which included language instruction, research, and materials development all under the same roof. What early ELI pioneers envisioned was something new, a rigorous program of language instruction which applied a systemic approach to language teaching based on research into the nature of language and the nature of learning. In what soon came to be known as the Michigan Method, thousands of students around the world learned English, and other institutes began emulating ELI's methods. Teacher training became a part of ELI's mission almost immediately, multiplying its global influence as legions of Michigan-trained English teachers carried the ELI principles to students in every corner of the globe. In 1943, just 2 years after its founding, ELI staff founded an English Language Institute in Mexico City, the first of its kind outside of the United States. Today, teacher training continues to be a hallmark of the program. Through placements in local community organizations and in migrant farm worker camps, student teachers practice working with diverse populations and learn firsthand the centrality of culture to language teaching and learning. Research and the commitment to evidence-based teaching approaches and techniques have been at the core of ELI's founding mission and progress. ELI researchers have made important advances in the description of the English language. Two significant language corpora, the Michigan Corpus of Spoken Academic English and the Michigan Corpus of Undergraduate Student Papers, were developed here at ELI. Teachers and researchers across the world use these historically important collections of language for linguistic analysis, classroom activities, and materials development, as we will hear in today's first panel discussion. ELI was also home to pivotal early research into language assessment, which led to the development of a testing and certification program, helping establish global standards for language proficiency. In ELI's early days, high-quality teaching materials simply did not exist. As a result, they created their own, a tradition of which continues today. Fries himself produced some of the earliest of these texts, examples of which you can view at the presses table during lunch back outside of the auditorium. Several more of these texts, which help define second language pedagogy for generations of teachers and learners, will be highlighted in today's closing panel. From research to development of materials to the 1950s incorporation of television cameras into teacher training classrooms, the ELI faculty has innovated. Making use of the latest in technology has enabled advances in engaged learning and were critical to the creation of My Case and My Cusp. And more recently, ELI's digital initiatives have demonstrated the potential for online language instruction to make ELI support available to students whose busy schedules might not permit them to register for an in-person class session. Just this past academic year, when administrators in Rackham and LSA, people like me, sought ways to prepare newly admitted international graduate students for success before they arrived on campus, ELI faculty piloted a highly successful online experience which provided language skills, academic acculturation, and the beginnings of a social network for a group of incoming graduate students. ELI has repeatedly responded to calls from the College of Literature, Science, and the Arts and from the University of Michigan to adapt and to serve new populations in new ways. When the university recognized the need for more robust training and support for graduate student instructors, it turned to ELI, in partnership with the Center for Research on Learning and Teaching, to develop programming to prepare GSIs at the University of Michigan to succeed in the classroom, laboratory, and office hours. Recognized as the gold standard in this field, this collaboration is hailed in LSA's strategic plan for diversity, equity, and inclusion for its positive impact on the experience of GSIs at the University of Michigan and for its contribution to campus climate and undergraduate learning. The ELI ethos fosters innovation and experimentation to find solutions and opportunity for growth. ELI's teacher training courses were early adopters of a community engagement philosophy. Student teachers go into local communities in Southeast Michigan. International graduate students are taken outside of their academic comfort zones and into the local areas of Ann Arbor and Ypsilanti for cultural exploration and practice communicating with diverse populations. International students have played an important role at the University of Michigan since its earliest days. Michigan welcomed international students, particularly students from Asia, when they were rare at other elite U.S. research universities. ELI was a pioneer in the early days of what we now think of as international education. developing an infrastructure to support large numbers of students from around the world coming to Michigan to take classes, participate in workshops, certify their language proficiency, establish professional networks, make friends, and meet partners, all in English. You will be able to hear testimonies from a number of current and former ELI students during the lunchtime video program. These students are the reason why ELI does what it does. Their success has driven ELI's work, and it is this commitment to supporting international students, along with its continuing commitment to pedagogical innovation and community engagement, which has truly defined ELI throughout its history and still animates everything that it does today. In 2010, the university limited language testing and course requirements for admitted international graduate students, and since then, ELI language courses have been optional. That these courses have had robust, even growing enrollments is a testament to the quality of the instruction in ELI. Hundreds of incredibly talented and hardworking people in the ELI have, for over 75 years, dedicated themselves to making sure that our scholars receive the highest quality instruction and caring support in and out of the classroom. I want to pay special recognition to the ELI faculty who have consistently maintained the highest level of professionalism and commitment to our students. With key partners across the university, a spirit of collaboration has permeated our history and drives us forward, and I'm so grateful for all that you have brought to the program. So please enjoy the celebration and learning opportunities throughout this incredibly important colloquium. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you so much, Andrew, for those very kind words and for your ongoing support for ELI and for international students in the college. Before we move ahead with our program, I have a couple of other very important people I need to thank because without them today would not have been possible. So first of all, a big thanks to our LSA Associate Dean for Undergraduate Education, the ELI's home division, Angela D. Dillard, for generously supporting our celebration and for all of her ongoing support for the Institute. LSA Associate Dean for the Humanities, Ann Curzan, in addition to being our first moderator of our first panel, has also been extremely helpful in planning this event. As has, and I also want to thank Assistant Dean, LSA Assistant Dean for Undergraduate Education, Evans Young, for his support of ELI. Here at Rackham, Associate Dean for the Humanities, Debbie Keller-Cohen, provided life-saving advice when we started planning this a year ago. It's because of her we are in this room, because she said, book that room now, pick a non-football weekend and get that room, and here we are. And it's just a delight to be in this beautiful space here at Rackham. We're also very grateful to LSA's Development Marketing Communications team for their wonderful support, our visual materials, especially to Ann Hart for really helping us with the planning these big events. And I want to thank Julie Evershed and Rob DeMilner at the Language Resource Center for helping us with our videos, our friends at the Instructional Support Services for documenting, for recording today's event. This will be on the ELI website soon. A huge shout out to our dear, dear friend at the University of Michigan Press, Kelly Sipple. Yeah, she's... As you can hear, in addition to being a supporter of this event and providing lots of advice, she's just a really, really good friend to the Institute. Also, really, really huge thanks and gratitude to the ELI faculty for over a year of patience and time and input and helping plan this, think this through, putting up with all the time at meetings and things, particularly to Pamela Bogart for her technical assistance and Mindy Mattice for her editing help. Former directors Diane Larson-Freeman and John Swales, thank you so much for your wise counsel as we planned this event. And last but absolutely not least, the incredible ELI staff. We are a very small staff, and they have really punched above their weight, I have to say. So Carson Maynard, Veronica Moore, Katie Wyant, thank you so much for everything. Okay, so today's program is forward-looking. We have scholars and teachers from ELI and from around the world to talk about current trends, future directions in these fields where ELI has made a mark. We've got some poster presentations at lunchtime that will highlight some current exciting initiatives happening at ELI in collaboration with some campus partners. But we'd like to begin with a glimpse back to ELI's early days that I hope you will enjoy. What I'm about to show you, and I'll see if I can talk and do something technical at the same time. I think I can. What I'm about to show you is, could you grab the lights? Is a glimpse of ELI's early days via a really interesting artifact that we came across quite serendipitously. And I think it demonstrates how new and exciting ELI was when it began. So what you're about to see is a brief clip from a 1953 CBS TV series about U.S. higher education. Each episode of this series focused on one university, but via a portrait of a single department that was doing innovative, groundbreaking work. And the star of the University of Michigan's episode is the ELI. And so you'll get to see a little glimpse of the ELI and really a rare glimpse of our founder, Charles C. Fries, in action. So have we got it on the screen? Here we go.
From the colleges and universities of the nation, CBS Television brings you The Search to know and understand man and his work, the search for a richer, happier life for all.
And our story today is about the English Language Institute at the University of Michigan at Ann Arbor. To this school come students from all over the world. They speak no English when they enter. 8 weeks later, when they graduate, they not only speak English, but they have learned a great deal about what language really is. Here's a new group of students arriving at Ann Arbor. Some have come from ministries of government. Some are fresh from school. Many have come halfway around the world to a strange place in a strange country with strange customs. There are 85 of them, men and women, all with one purpose in common, to master the English language. In the evening, the entire group holds its first full meeting, a formal occasion. There's a ceremony of passing out material for practice, and vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation, and the drills that pull it all together, pattern practice.
America, Venezuela, ingenieur, terrorize.
There's a ritual of introduction.
Despina Economaki, Athens, Greece, nurse.
Aloysio de Sales Fonseca, Brazil, médico. Wachelapai from Thailand, engineer.
Tatsuro Okitsu from Japan, school teacher.
Francisco Sevchik, automotive engineer, Bolivia.
Then, as at every first meeting, Professor Fries takes over, director of the English Language Institute.
Welcome. We're going to work and play together for 8 weeks. And at the end of that time, what? Certainly not a complete mastery of English, but we do aim to give you considerable freedom in the use of English. Translators, take over at any time.
Doctor Fries les da la bienvenida a la universidad y al curso.
You will not do many things you expected. You will do many things you did not expect. Our way is different. The difference rests in a new view of the nature of language. Mr. Edward Anthony will tell you something more about that.
How fun, right? We'll leave you in suspense about that new view of language, but but if your curiosity has been piqued, we will show the entire episode during lunchtime in the West Conference Room. But pretty cool, huh? I mean, a aside from the thrill of seeing these figures, these legendary figures, Charles Carpenter Freeze, Robert Lado, Edward Anthony, in this room, no less. Did you notice? I think you're up there in Turkey, and Iraq was over here. But I think it demonstrates so clearly, actually something that Andrew referred to, or I thought expressed very eloquently in his remarks, that it demonstrates what made ELI special then and continues to define what we do today. I think this dedication to a systematic approach to language teaching based on research, and this really strong commitment to supporting international students from around the world. I mean, this is really the dawn of what we now think of as global or international education happening right here at Ann Arbor. So pretty exciting. And these two themes of innovation in language teaching and support for international students have really defined ELI throughout its history. And that's what I think we'll weave through all of our discussions today. So let's get on with the show.